Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we will be discussing Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, chapter 6, text 32. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. So, Parama Yogi, who is the highest yogi, this is another verse where Krishna talks about the yogi after having reached that advanced stage of self realization. What is his vision and how he is therefore called a Parama Yogi? Yogi Paramo Mataha Saha. That person is a Parama Yogi, the highest perfect yogi, who Atma Upamyena, by comparison with his own self, Atma Upamyena, Sarvatra Samam Pashyati. By comparison to his own self, he sees the true equality of all beings. Atma Upamyena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati. O Arjuna, Yaha, one who does that, and thereby Sukham va Yadiva Dukkham, in both their happiness and distress. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings, both in their happiness and distress. So that is the perfect yogi. So Prabhupada nicely explains that one who is Krishna conscious is a perfect yogi. Why? Very nice logical explanation he gives. Because he is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. So, by his own experience, he understands why everyone is happy, why everyone is in distress, or why someone is happy, why someone is distress. So, for example, what is the cause of distress? Prabhupada nicely writes here. The cause of the distress of a living entity is forgetfulness of his relationship with God or Krishna. So, this is a one line formula, one line sentence to understand the cause of our distress. People might object, no, the cause of my distress is because of lack of money or lack of health, a lack of mental health, or whatever it is. God has got nothing to do with this. Don't bring God into this. So, let's say you are undergoing a nightmare and you are shouting, you are screaming, you are undergoing so much of pain, misery, something is chasing or something, you're getting into bad things, and suddenly you wake up. Suddenly somebody wakes you up, hey, what's happening? Or the alarm rings, then you wake up, and then how relief you will feel. Oh, thank God, it's not the actual thing, it's only after all a dream. Even though you are safe and secure on the bed, you're somebody completely different, but you completely forget all of that, and in the dream you are undergoing that distress. The moment you are awakened to your reality, then all your distress is gone. Like sometimes when people binge watch, they assume that particular mentality of that lead character. And wherever they go, they try to project that, they'll try to speak that way, or and it can lead to extreme circumstances. Like one gentleman, he was watching this some ghostly kind of horror movie or horror series, and then he thought he was ghostly haunted, and then he was acting crazy and He tried to attack his roommate, and the roommate in return attacked, and he actually killed him. So it can lead to that kind of great distress because you forget who you are, and in contact with material nature, you assume an identification about yourself. You can get into all kinds of problems. I identify myself as the head of this family or the head of this community, head of this state or country, and all kinds of tribulations I undergo because of that. So, how to relieve that is when one is awakened from that. It's like the mantra when you chant, when you are afflicted with this poison of snake bite, then there is a way in our traditional method. There are still people, snake charm or the mantra aushadhi they give, they can get the effect of the poison out. So, this one who is affected with this poison of material identification, forgetfulness of God, the Hare Krishna mantra brings them back, cures them from that affliction. So, therefore, this mantra is described like this by Kulashekara Acharya. शत्रुच्छेदैकमन्त्रं सकलमुपनिषद्वाक्यसम्पूज्यमन्त्रं संसारोच्छेदमन्त्रं समुचिततमस सङ्घनिर्याणमन्त्रं सर्वैश्वर्यैकमन्त्रं व्यसनभुजगसन्दष्टसन्त्राणमन्त्रं जिह्वे श्रीकृष्णमन्त्रं जप जप सततं जन्मसाफल्यमन्त्रम्. So this mantra, Sri Krishna mantram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jihve on your tongue, Satatam, Jihve Sri Krishna mantram, Satatam. Janma Safalya mantram, it makes your life successful. This is the mantra that can give you everything. Shatruchhedaika mantram, it can conquer our enemies. Our biggest enemies are our senses and the kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya within our hearts. And Sakalam Upanishad Vakya Sampujya Mantram, this is the mantra that is being praised by all the Upanishads. Samsarocheda Mantram, this can cut off this samsara by which we are struggling in this world. And Vyasana Bhujaga Sandashta Santrana Mantram, as I was saying, this Bhujaga is snake. Bhujaga Sandashta Santrana means, Sandashta means the snake bite. Bhujaga Sandashta, one who is afflicted with this snake bite, Santrana, it can relieve them. Snake bite of this poisonous material existence, which can make us forgetful about Krishna and make us undergo so much distress. This mantra can relieve us. So, the devotee or the perfect yogi, by dint of his own experience, knows the cause of the distress of the living entity, which is forgetfulness of his relationship with God. And what is the cause of happiness? Because the verse talks about sukham va yadiva dukkham. The devotee also knows what is the cause of happiness. So, what is the cause of happiness? One may think the cause of happiness in this world is good karma, good opulence, good money. No, the actual cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer of all the activities of the human being. Krishna is the proprietor of all lands and planets. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Suhurdam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shantim ruchyati. You can become perfectly happy, perfectly peaceful by knowing Krishna is the actual enjoyer. You are not the actual enjoyer. Our problem is we think we can enjoy, but we don't know, we don't have that capacity to enjoy. And with this Maya, a man goes on and on trying to work hard, accumulate things, hanker for more things, prestige, position, power, money, so on and so forth. You can become a billionaire, but you cannot eat more than as you actually grow old. Your consumption of food also reduces. You become more frustrated that you're not able to enjoy by eating more. You may have the biggest house in the town, but you will need only that 6 or 7 feet of space to sleep. And that also people are not able to get the sleep now. Insomnia. You may want to lust after many women, but your lust satisfying capacity is very limited. So, like that, we may want to eat a lot, but our eating capacity is limited. So, for that little bit of capacity we have, little bit of sense gratificatory happiness capacity we have, we work so hard day and night, not caring for health, family, friends. So, there was this family, the wife was always pestering the husband. You're not, you're making us live frugally, and you always think about God and see how the neighbors they are enjoying so much. They built a big house, and every day I see big things coming into their house from furniture and new gadgets, new TVs they are bringing, and you are making me suffer like this. And so the husband said, I'll give you more enjoyment from tomorrow. And then he brings a big cup from the market. And then the next day you know, you used to have a little cup of coffee. Let me give you a big cup. And then she starts to think, oh, my husband is now thinking about my enjoyment. And then he pours that into that cup, and then she drinks. And the next day again he brings a even bigger cup, the giant size cup. And then he pours the coffee into that. Today you can drink this. And then she starts to become a little inconvenient. Oh, such a big cup of coffee. I cannot handle this. But still, because the husband is saying she drinks. The next day he brings a big bottle and then pours, and you drink this. And then she starts to become mad. What are you saying? How can a man drink so much of coffee at one time? And then she also understands what he is trying to convey, that just merely thinking that we can gratify our senses more and more doesn't mean more enjoyment. Like, just because water gives life to a plant, you keep on pouring more and more water, what will happen? The plant can only take a little bit for it to sustain its life and be healthy and happy. Just because the water is giving its enjoyment and life and health, you give more and more water, what will happen? The roots get over drenched and the plant will actually die. So, this is a mistaken concept of happiness, that people think that overindulgence, sense gratification, the more and more sense gratification gives more happiness. Actually, it is not good for us. Whether it is overweight, Like if you have overweight, all kinds of joint problems, knee problems. Overtly watching TV makes us lazy, addicted. Over accumulating makes us greedy. Overeating causes indigestion. Overuse of gadgets exposes dangerous radiation, harm for health. And then it makes us addicted to them, makes us dependent on them for happiness. And in the absence of it, even for a tiny fraction, we feel miserable. And we see, you see so many news every day happening how people fight for, somebody changed my channel and people fight, and it got into a great disaster and somebody died because of that. Things like that. So it's all because of the mistaken concept that happiness comes from sense gratification. No. Krishna has, by nature, we are infinitesimal. We cannot take any unlimited amount of sense gratificatory happiness. Our level to enjoy is only this much. But Krishna's level to enjoy is unlimited. So the tendency we have to gratify our senses should be directed to Krishna. Krishna can take unlimited enjoyment. And when Krishna enjoys, we also get that enjoyment because we are non different from Krishna. When the stomach gets food, the fingers, the bodily parts, everyone becomes enjoyed. The parts of the tree, they all enjoy when the water is poured to the root. So like that. This is the concept of happiness. This is what Prabhupada is saying in the purport, that the real point of happiness is, the real cause of happiness is understanding that Krishna is the real enjoyer. And my enjoyment is Krishna knows what to give. For my little bit of capacity, what is the right thing I can be given by which I'll be happy? That prasadam happiness. We should seek for the prasadam happiness. Means whatever prasada we get from Krishna. Like Krishna can eat chapan bhog. 56 times, 56 offerings Krishna is getting every day in Jagannath Puri. He can eat unlimitedly. And whatever remnants we get to our capacity as remnants from Krishna, as prasadam from Krishna, you enjoy. So, like that, you provide Krishna unlimited enjoyment. You offer your money to Krishna. You offer your services to Krishna. Whatever Krishna bestows you back is good for you, is the right enjoyment for you. But if you want to enjoy separately from Krishna, problem. Greed, sense gratification. So, by dint of his own experience, the devotee, the perfect yogi, understands the cause of the happiness and the cause of distress of the living entities. The other point mentioned in this purport is that the yogi, the best, perfect yogi, he does not envy fellow living entities. Why? Because he knows that their so called happiness today, it's like a, that curve, it goes and the crests and troughs of life, the highs and lows of life. When you're going high, when the peak is reached, there is a down coming. And when the down is coming, there is peak coming. So he does not envy anybody because they are undergoing, according to law of karma, their happiness means the distress is also going to come. We should not envy anybody. Like this goat, a farmer was taking some goats, and this goat met one other goat from other farmland. So this other farmland, These goats are nice, stuffy, and very fatty, and all that. And so this fat goat started to talk to this lean goat. Hey, why don't you join us? You see how we are enjoying so much. We can eat unlimited amount of grass and so on and so forth. But this thin goat, he said, no, 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 I'm loyal to my master, and I have to go. I have to accompany him. No, 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 I cannot stay here. Hey, what are you accompanying? Why do you follow your master? He's always making you do so many things. You are so thin. Just here, see here, live here and enjoy. And the thin goat says, no, no, no. You may be thinking you are enjoying, but you don't know. A great danger may be there. I know for sure my master, he takes care of all of us. So I'm happy with whatever he gives me. Even though I may not be able to enjoy like you eating whatever unlimitedly. And then he leaves. And then the next day, this fatty goat is taken to the slaughterhouse. And then, just about to get slaughtered, then he realizes, oh my God, what a fool I am. That oblivious to the reality, I kept on enjoying without thinking that this impending danger is going to come. So, when a devotee sees somebody in the middle of opulence or sense gratification or some kind of a enjoyment position, he only sees their suffering. Maya is feeding them nicely just to slaughter them. According to law of karma, they have assimilated that pious credits. They are now enjoying, but very soon suffering will follow. We should not envy anybody. Even in devotee circle, when we see somebody in a good position or they got a good service or they have some ability or everybody is praising them or they got some opportunity that I didn't get, no, we should not envy because some reason or the other Krishna gave them that opportunity. And if I deserve something according to my ability may be something else. Krishna, in his own way, he will give me opportunity as long as I remain sincere to render him service. So we should be happy because other devotee we don't know what all tribulations they are undergoing in their private life. They may be undergoing so much of misery and they are trying to serve to their best capacity. Everybody goes through the highs and lows of life. What all problems they may be undergoing, we don't know. So let everybody be happy under the service of Krishna. Doesn't matter what it is. But for materialists, the devotee, he does not envy, but he tries to do good for them. That's what Prabhupada says in the purport. Even if somebody is enjoying in material life, it's actually suffering, just like the goat is being fed to be taken to the slaughterhouse. So, Prabhupada says that because one in Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge of Krishna everywhere. He tries to broadcast the importance of becoming Krishna consciousness. He is the best philanthropist in the world, and he is the dearest servitor of the Lord. Nacha tasman manushyeshu kaschinme priyakrittamaha. And Krishna certifies that one who is trying to broadcast Krishna consciousness is my best servant. So that is the person who is always trying to look to the welfare of all living entities. And he is not interested only in his personal elevation, like a typical a tapasvi or a yogi tries to go to some secluded place, practice Mauna Vrata or go to Himalayas for their own emancipation, as Prahlad Maharaj says. Prayena deva munayah swabhimukti kama मौनं चरन्ति विजने न परार्धनिष्ठाः नैतान् विहाय कृपणान् सुविमुमुक्ष एको नान्यत्वदस्य शरणं भ्रमतोऽनुपश्ये. O my Lord, in general, Munayah Swabhimukti Kama to deliver themselves. Maunam Charanti Vijane. They go to these secluded places, practice all kinds of tapasya like Maunavrata and all that for their own benefit. But as far as I am concerned, I don't want to go and live in a secluded place. I want to be in the middle of people because I see that they are all suffering because of forgetfulness of you. Na anyat tvad asya sharanam brahmataha anupasye. Without taking shelter of you, I cannot see their happiness. Therefore, I stay in the middle of the cities. Like Prabhupada, he came to the busiest of the places and where the civilization is more entrenched in materialistic civilization because he saw that the more materially entrenched, the more modernized the civilization, the more suffering is. And then he was not just satisfied living in Vrindavan. He went and he shared this knowledge of Krishna. He erased their forgetfulness of Krishna. And when one is awakened to that remembrance of Krishna, then we can see how one who becomes a devotee of Krishna becomes joyful. Brahmabhutaha prasannatma na sochati na kankshati. Samah sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. This is a fact. You see, devotees happily they leave everything in Krishna's hands. They don't have any cares. Whatever, even if they are undergoing some tribulation, Krishna has given it. This is my treatment. It's just like a doctor sometimes gives austerity. You know, you have to fast. You have to take this pill. You have to do this. So devotee is fully joyful. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. That prasanna manasa will happen when you practice Krishna consciousness. So a devotee tries to bring everybody to that platform. And he is a yogi paramo mataha. We'll stop here. Anyone has any questions or comments? Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande